You know, this is a very deeply disturbing moment to me from the standpoint as a former bank examiner with the state of Missouri for a couple of years, and having gone to the FDIC school when I was examiner. Of course, I didn't go there when it was the FDIC hotel, as reported by this report this morning. But I have deep respect for the FDIC. Standpoint, I've worked with examiners, both as an examiner and as a banker. But this report, along with the long tenure of Mr. Gruenberg, leaves a lot to be desired. It is very concerning. And let's just start with it. An independent third-party report, 167 interviews, where 10% of the people, roughly, complained of abusive treatment. Things like gender and race discrimination are documented, as Mr. Meeks indicated this morning. We got anger management issues with the management of the agency. We have field offices that are fear of reporting for fear of retaliation. How in the world can people do their work if they're fearful of being able to report what's actually going on? It can't happen. We have promotion within the agency based on the club that they're in, which is nepotism. That can't be tolerated. There in the report, it's indicated that the FDIC Seidman Center and Wall Street Journal article, the FDIC hotel, there are 24 instances of intoxication misconduct occurred, 2 sexual harassment and 1 rape. 2 sexual harassments and 1 rape within the FDIC hotel. And now, this morning, we hear from your testimony, Mr. Gruenberg, that you indicate that it just surfaced a little while back, and you just learned of it then, of the depth of this. Sir, there was 92 harassment claims, according to the report. 92. You have to be either totally incompetent or not caring and allowed to go on and be a facilitator of all this activity. 0 resulted in removal, 0 resulted in reduction of pay, and no discipline more serious than a suspension or a transfer occurred. Unbelievable. That is facilitation in its purest form. Now, one of the things that's going to happen here, we're going to try and make sure that Ms. McWilliams, who was interim between your 2 terms, is also a fall guy in this. And the report says nothing about that. In fact, it speaks pretty glowingly about her. I quote, within just 3 months of your departure, sir, your successor built enough trust with employees that they felt they could share their stories. And she began to work on the FDIC's culture problems. They actually are supportive of what she was doing. So the report talks about discrimination, gender and race, sexual harassment, nepotism, and your anger management issues. But we know some more, sir. I've been here a long time. This is my 14th year on this committee, which is a long time. Also know that you lied to me. You lied to the chairman, you lied to this committee about Operation Choke Point. And it took an email where we found you involved before we confronted you, and you admitted it in my office that you were involved in this, and it stopped. Since then, since your new term, you've been involved in it again. Remember the ATM operation? One of you, either you or your individual person, was here along with your 3 representatives, and also admitted wrongdoing there. But also, there's weak management from the standpoint of regulation. That's what your job really is, as evidenced by the 3 banks that failed last year. As a bank examiner, there is no way in the world I would have allowed the bank model of those 3 banks to exist. 80 to 95% uninsured deposits? Are you kidding me? No way. You knew about it for a year, did nothing. And in doing that, you endangered not only the viability of those banks, but the viability of our system. Because what happened? They went down, runs were started on other banks around the country. I got phone calls from everybody, all sorts of bankers worried about what's going to happen, all because of the lax management and lack of regulation. And Mr. Sue, you're part of the problem as well. You and Chopra and Gruenberg were the 3 that went in behind McWilliams' back and tried to do something with this bank merger situation and managed to oust her. Shame on you guys. Mr. Gruenberg, you have become the Michael Cohen and Harvey Weinstein of the FDIC, and you need to go. If you have the decency, please step down. If not, I would urge the President of the United States to replace you ASAP. And with that, Mr. Chairman, I yield back.